right. Looks like we are live. No, I don't. Okay. Showing the one comment.
Oh, that was just me.
Oh, okay. Lewis Oxley. Okay, cool. All right. I need to take off my
Okay.
sound. Oh, I need to take off my and get rid of that. Okay, now it's showing us live. And I'm assuming you're on your computer, on your phone, so it's your number 2. Well, we'll just go ahead and start, and people will join when they join. But yeah, keep an eye out, Lewis, on that, and let me know when somebody joins, because I won't be able to see easily.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm sorry, what?
We've got 3 likes now. I think someone else is watching.
Somebody else has joined also.
I think so. I mean, we've got 3 likes now, so.
I don't think, I'm not sure we have likes. Because you said that before, but when I looked back afterwards, we didn't have all those likes that you said that we did.
Huh.
But anyway, Nora has joined us. Hey, Nora. Welcome. Welcome. Hi. Okay, cool.
There we go.
All right, so I will get going, Nora. Welcome to Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Foundation Series, Introduction to Keylonta, Episode 4. I'm Katie Oshimanita. This is beautiful Lewis Oxley, Grid Keeper, helper, knowledgeable KSer.
Thank you.
Okay. And again, just everyone who decided to take the plunge, welcome into understanding who we are as spiritual beings and how we live out the mechanics of manifestation is called Keylonta. The primary resource used was the Elements of Discovery manual by the Cathara team by Azurite Press. This is an excellent summary of the Freedom Teachings. I am in no way affiliated with Azurite Press or Rays Productions. The Elements of Discovery, the link to download the PDF is on the harmonizingjourney.com website on the HJR Seminars page. We will have a Q&A time after my introductory talk, or maybe even kind of break in between. So please put your questions in the chat. You can ask any question if I can answer them, or Lewis can, we will. And the PDF for today's presentation is also in the description below. Okay. And we are looking at, it's interesting how it came out this way. The Cosmic Clock and the Stairway to Heaven, God World Stargate Network is the topic of this week's discussion, or month's discussion. And to understand the Cosmic Clock and the Stairway to Heaven of the God Worlds, you've got to start with the most primary, the Viveka code, Merkaba code. That's the root, and it spreads through cycles and cycles out from there. So, looking at this structure of the anatomy of it, we have the actual field, which is the 2 spirals of energy moving together, counter-rotating, and they create an actual field around them as they spiral counterclockwise to each other. Then you have the base shield, which is the universal shield divine blueprint. So that's that Cathara grid in the center there. And again, everything, right, is built on the Cathara grid. Yep. This is just another layer of the Cathara grid structure. It's the spirals that we call Merkabas and chakras. Chakras, the same thing as a Merkaba. or as a spiraling vortice. The parameter field, or the primal light radiant field, is, looking in our image, the circle around the outside. So the two counter-rotating spirals, they interface in the center point, right? In the center of the Cathara grid, which we always talk about. That's the monad. That's how energy systems are continuously fed. And I also consider that the 13th pillar point as well. And usually in the center of the monad, you have your crystalla, or your 12-point Cathara grid monad. And that regulates, mathematically codes, whatever that particular vortice combination is going to be. And the top north, orient, north, south, trying to think from my perspective, I guess looking at the screen, west, east, from my point of view. So the north point electrical is always 33 1/3 spiral. And then the bottom magnetic base is always 11 2/3 counterclockwise. So the top is clockwise, bottom counterclockwise is the counter-rotating spirals. And the west runs the magnetic, and the east runs the electrical counter. Okay, am I missing anything, Lewis?
I guess maybe just to simple it down a little bit, just by really explain that, because we've got 12, technically 15 dimensions of ourselves existing simultaneously, just to really make it easy for everyone. So for every dimension that we live in, for every dimension of our body, we have a Merkaba. So because we're in 3 dimensions of our body now, we would have 3 of those Merkabas, one existing in dimension 1, 2, and 3, and they keep going up.
I will be getting there. there. I'm just looking at the basic structure of the Viveka Merkaba, chakra, and as we go on to the next. Chakras, the gateway portals. So each chakra is a gate portal system into a different world of consciousness. An atom is a world. Our chakras are shut down and running reversals right now, but we are working on it, and every day it's getting better and better. The Mashaya Hana Prayer Salon that I always talk about with the Harmonizing Journey to Realignment sessions, aka Pod Space, is our plasma spirit body Merkaba travel body or vehicle. The Stargate portal system, which was in page 56 of the manual. So the primary chakras of the central body current, connecting into the star crystal seals or signets within each Stargate. That again is the monad point in the center, the regulating and energizing point within the chakra / Merkaba, regulates our perceived perception of reality. Very important to get that. Each chakra or Cathara center, Merkaba, runs a particular mathematical PKI or Partikai flash line sequence or angular rotation of particle spin known as ARPs of perception. And that's how fast or slow these flashline sequences go. These ARPs create always again, our Merkaba structures, counter-rotating Merkaba flows within the chakras that align with the dimensional perceptual realm, as Lewis was saying, dimension 1, dimension 2, dimension 3, as we see in our chart or image that we've been utilizing every session. D1, D2, D3, radial body shield clock template holds particular consciousness of reality in it. Next level up, spirals up to the next level, spirals up to the next level. And again, examples of the shields, radial bodies within Tara, Gaia, and Aratena. And we have a part of ourselves within these harmonic universes of the downstepping of the quantum process. Our soul on Terra has 12 incarnates here on Earth that are located at different points in time throughout the time vectors the whole cycles of this full planetary structure. So it's not all in one time. But at this point, actually, because of the fact of how we've been having what's actually considered kind of past lifetimes, that we actually can meet our incarnate selves. It's kind of weird because that's not supposed to be normal. And then our oversoul on Gaia have 12 souls on Terra. Our Maharata, our Matena self, has 12 oversouls on Gaia. So 12, 12, 12, many multiples, all interface together with the energy lines and energy centers of the Cathara grid structure, of the Merkaba structure, of the eternal mind, neuronal network, eternal mind of the all that is. Aya, aye. Remember that all of these worlds are sphere domains within sphere domains, or circles within circles. The Cathara, personal, planetary, universal, and cosmic Cathara grids control our perception of reality. We are all within the first PKI of creation, or Partakai, but at a big Partakai level. Excuse me. We are all within the first PKI of creation, within the mind of the all that is, God's first eternal Aya Aya. The idea of being separate is an illusion, a holographic construct to experience. And just because something's a holographic reality doesn't make it not real. There's a certain step-down process to what starts out as this Keylon thought intention until it crystallizes, becomes plasmic, and then plasma, and then it eventually becomes gaseous, and then it crystallizes and becomes a reality construct that's very solidified. And you can't just like change your sex because you want to, kind of thing. You can express your ire or your mane energies of wanting to go, in that particular way. But your biology has crystallized and you're born with it. It's to be honored and respected. So it is what it is. And you can work over time to shift your realities, but it's going to take time. It's going to be a process. Okay. Stargate ascension occurs during solar activation cycles, or SACs. SAC. Occurs when multiple suns' vertical axes align. This creates a stellar bridge that allows frequency infusion, opening a channel within the Stargate portal system of the cosmic clock that we'll be discussing in a moment. The chakra system becomes a fully activated Merkaba vehicle. A counter-rotating electromagnetic EM spiral pair emerges. Its center becomes a form constant still point that links various space-time coordinates directly, right? Always in the center, the monad, form constant, Manu, Kristalla, then flashes out. These Merkaba structures form arcs, which is part of how we get archangels, or angels, arcs, that move through the cosmic clock structure within every harmonic and cosmic system of the outer, and we are living in the outer, middle, inner, in our core domains. Okay. And then we will be next moving to the cosmic clock. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, Bliss?
You explained everything perfectly.
Okay. And I know I always, every session I go over this again, but I don't think this is so rudimentary and so important, and it's just built on, everything else is built on this. Just always remembering about the Keylon code when we're talking about the PKI, the Partakai unit, also known as the Manu, or the Un One of ante matter, holds, and again, this is pre-manifestation. This is just within the mind of Aya, God Source First Eternal. Holds the thought intention within its being, in one of its antimatter, holds within its form constant structure the polarity of light and sound. Right, so the parta K is the male electrical anti matter particle overtone, which tends to be our parallel aspect, and then our parta cum, female magnetic matter particle base tone of scalars. Okay. And those flashing ons create the fabric, or the parta Chi grids, the fabric of creation, the Keylon codes. So when you have a Keylon code in this stage, it can more easily be altered before it actually pictures out in front of you into the 3D world around you. When you're still holding it in mind, you can shift it a bit, maneuver it a bit, but once it crystallizes and it actually becomes the past, when it flashes up, projects up around you in this 3D density 1 realm, or any of the light body structures, but particularly this one. Okay. The Cosmic Clock, Elements of Discovery, page 52. So understanding the time. Are we getting anybody? Maybe?
Not from what I can tell.
Oh, okay. Nora just responded. Okay. Understanding the time cycles of the cosmic clock begins with understanding cosmic creation itself. As time is one integral part of the wholeness that is source. Through understanding the reality of the cosmic divine blueprint, we can begin to comprehend and awaken our tangible, indelible, eternal, direct, and personal relationship to God. Again, that's page 52. That's a direct quote out of the book. And in a minute, I'm also going to just go through the steps of this particular diagram, but I'll just go through it here, and then I'm going to go through it again, the cycles. So the step down 1, or the PKI 1, is the blue in the center is that Manu, that 0 point that connects into the 13th pillar, into the eternal core of our being. That flashes out to split to make the next step down of the PKI 2, the Manet and the area, the electrical and magnetic, and it starts to spin. But it also then goes back into the core, right? We have the out breath, in breath, and then it comes back out again, and it always, when running naturally organic, the next cycle out will double its quantum. So then you see step down 2, we've got now an extra Manet and Uric. Then it's going to go back in itself, and it's going to flash out again. So we look at the bottom of the chart, the diagram here, and we see how we still have in the center our Manu, our seed atom of creation, another way of saying it, the 0 point. And from that cycling, breathing, we've just cycled out even more and created what's known also as the Riche sectors, which create pillars of consciousness, but also the Cathara grid structure. Believe it or not, you can fit that in Cathara grid into that structure. And you'll notice that you have those black arrows. When you build up enough Cathara grid structures into the cycle of spiraling vortices, because the Cathara grid, right, we just said the polarities of the PKA and PKM, or PCM, creating the counter-rotating vortices. Within them, they have the Cathara grid structure. And they align at the node points, as well as they can align at different energy lines as well, points, in creating complex structures. and this being, so you can have major flowing domains of consciousness through cathartic structures of huge reality structures. All right, so God source perpetually sets manifestation in motion. I think what I'm going to do is when I'm done with a section, I'm going to ask you then, so that you know that I've said what I'm going to say about the topic. You can add to it. Okay. God source perpetually sets manifestation in motion through engaging its awareness in the process of vibrational downstepping or thought formation. For wherever I am within my mind, because I am the mind of source ultimately, there I am. By clearing the blocks and distortions in our anatomy, we can activate our own Maharata avatar, who can move through the dimensional domains of its different identities at will. Density 1, density 2, density 3, back into density 4. Eventually that being can evolve into its Rishi level and beyond. Which I just said. I'll just say the Maharata can evolve into its Rishik and higher self to its Mashayahana self through the cosmic clock, Stargate portal system within each chakra of the body. In other words, your body itself is a portal. Okay. We are also looking to understand the I am concept here. We each have an identity, and with that I spirit self, we can embody the amness of the totality of creation that we are an integral part of. Our biology, or our biological anatomy, is a replica of the cosmos. Our inner being of many eyes in billions of worlds harmonize as the amness of the all that is, God source first eternal. As humans on Harmonic Universe 1, we are on the leading edge of creation, right? Because so far, at least in our time matrix, there's not a lower one than this. This is a newly evolving time dimensional domain or harmonic universe here on Harmonic Universe 1 Earth. And we've have 3 cycles of seedings to try to get it right. We're still kind of working on it. The Unici is our link to who we are in this current cosmic clock time matrix. You could say the Unici is almost like the heart of this matrix. This time is not bound by a 3D ticking clock. So when we're talking about the cosmic clock, we're not talking about a 3D clock. It's a clock bound by our internal, personal, universal, and cosmic biological clocks designed to work together in unison or unici. This connection created and continues to develop different dimensional realms with their own base pulse rhythm sequences of quote unquote time. Okay, Lewis. I'm done with this section. I will. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I really am not. I take that back. I'm going to talk more about the PKI phasing. That's right. Which, again, I just want to reiterate, I will be going back over this just to making it a little bit more, hopefully, clearer.
With the Patakai phasing, with the Patakai phasing, could you also connect it into the Christ and the Crystalla? So the vibration, the oscillation.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
Because actually I did. And I thought you read this over. So anyway, the PK phasing concerning the creation of the cosmic clock in our Stargate portal system. So the first Manu phasing process of the 13th pillar PKI-1 that I just showed you the diagram. The first down step, embodies and holds the CRISP code encryption, which I didn't say that before, but it does hold the CRISP code encryption that we've mentioned in previous classes. First desire of source to create the form constant that vibrates in place. That monad. PKI2, original first desire intention, vibration is replicated within the PKI1 to create the second individuation of consciousness. This division sets in motion the source's intention to create. This PKI2 divides within itself into the divine first Ire, PKM, and Mane, PKA, to make the divine trinity of eternal life perpetual motion. That's the real true CRISP code, divine trinity, Manu, flashing out, well actually Manu, the Crystalla, Crystalla within the 13th point, within that monad, and then flashes out, creating the Cathara grid structure of the light body structure of the Christos. And then within that, the form constant holds it around it of creation. And we understand that time comprises radiation units designed by phasing the first 3 PKI, from which the Crystalla and Christos are perpetually formed. This phasing creates the cosmic clock of perpetual motion of renewal. The Stargate portal system at all levels is part of this design. The ascension cycles are part of this 3D ticking clock design. The ancients followed this clock system by following the base pulse rhythm of life cycles. A materialized space-time matrix creates its form constants of life. Okay, now, is there anything you want to add to the cosmic clock?
Oh no, it's fine. I was just kind of asking the question.
Okay. All right. Okay. The Stairway to Heaven, God World Stargate Network, pages 52 and 53. And it's that structure I just talked about, the phasing, actually also lines up with, and I said it fits into the Cathara grid structure. This is showing it actually in the Cathara grid structure. So the R equals 12 Richer scepter pillars, which when you look at the cosmic clock, and it has those different points, and creates this kind of a cross shape. That fits into the Cathara grid structure. And then there's 15 cells. So there's, and they're showing, yeah, you see the cells around like 11 and 12. That's C9. Goes that way all throughout the Cathara grid structure. You're always going to have different levels of bones and balls and energy lines and energy centers. So again, the Manu, which is the first PKI, void, eternal still point window, aka we're looking now at the level of the cosmic God seed Akasha Ea, and the 13th pillar is a form constant within the center. And you see on the diagram showing in the center is the 13th pillar, also the Crystalla monad in the center. It vibrates, flashes out, forms that whole Cathara grid structure, which you see the sphere for the, well, actually within the monad, you see a little sphere around that, kind of a teardrop shape around the monad of the Crystalla. Then the outpicturing of the Cathara grid structure of the light body of the Christos, and then out around that is the form constant of the Manu, also considered the 15th cell as well. Okay, and again, let's see. So the Manu, first PKI void, eternal still point window, And again, I'm stressing the window because every atom has its Manu window. Right now, our Manu windows are shut down in our atomic structure. We are bit by bit waking up and opening the Manu window so that our anatomy can align back again with the whole process, right, of alignments through our personal, planetary, galactic, on up of energy lines and energy centers, go all the way into our atoms and what makes up our atoms. Okay, that's why we are portals, right? Counter-rotating spirals. We are portals when our body is running the way it was designed. And that still Manu, right, regulates the ire, first PKM, pre-sound. And again, this is all still before physical manifestation. Okay, this is still all within the mind of the Aya. So, pre-sound, divine mother, Kristalla, creation seed, contracting, receiving force, the Manet, first PKA, pre-light, divine father, creation spark, expanding, transmitting force. So when you hear with religions, when they talk about God the Father, that's the Christos. That's the light body outer manifestations. And the earth embodies within itself the core of the Kristalla, of the monad of creation within, and the third form constant of the molecular structure of the earth is the Manu. And then you have the output, picture and expression of it becoming more holographically expressed. Did that make sense? Hopefully I just made sense on that. At the center of this divine trinity is the Manu window. So again, at the top, we see the diagrams we were just looking at earlier. The cosmic God seed. And you see it right underneath that, what looks like a cross. That's the Rishi scepter formation that every Cathara grid structure has. And it runs high, more and more and more. Okay, so at the center of this divine trinity is the Manu window, which reflects the first creation point. This opening allows for the circulation of life force frequency consciousness throughout the God world. In fact, all the way into our own biology is connected to the biofeed interface system that I've talked about in the first or second class. This Manu window is located in every atom of our body. In fact, the diagram here is repeated in our atomic structure. The Manu neutron neutral 0 point in the center with its window that opens into the Kristalla of eternal circulation. The protons positive charge and the electrons electrical charge surrounding the atom creates a radial body form that remains constant around it. Now here is where some distortions abound. The electrons should be running positive charge, not a negative one. The proton should be running a negative charge, not a positive charge. Then the atom would line up with the cosmic God seed, Akasha AS seed atom of creation, or the monad, or another way of saying it is as a ray point. So for our purposes, we can just, when we look at this map, our stairway to heaven, to the God world, is, for us, it's easiest to look down at the bottom, you know, as a person, as we're first moving through. We look to embrace the Merkaba spiraling structure of our anatomy, which also creates the planetary structure or the biofeed interface system that the humans as well as the animals, but even more important the humans because of our design, the biofeed interface system. The humans create the planet also creates the humans. They work together. And then we, of course, got our domains. Our next little image here that I always show. of the planetary structure and universal structure. We come to what we call the Veka, which is another way of saying our time matrix. And we have the lower aspect of it, the higher. It has the whole cathargrid structure, as we always have been seeing, what we have over here. And then we have to the side here our parallel, or our anti-particle, right? You have the Array PCM, particum, and the pKa, male electrical, which we consider our parallel in the language we talk about it. They're actually together. They're not like this naturally. They're like this together. And actually one's upside down to the other. So one's head's at the other's feet and vice versa. But they interface together. Organically, they should be pretty much in the same alignment time-wise. But with the way our system works, we're a bit off. And our pKa parallel is a little ahead of us in time, a few years ahead of us in time. We're not quite aligned up.
8 years.
Okay, so then this Veka fits into what we call our Eka of our primal light and sounds fields. So the pink again is us, and then our parallel is actually now on the right side, the right side, and then the primal light and sound fields are on the other side. Keeping in mind, it's really all together, but the angular rotation of particle spin or ARPS shows the differences, gives a different outpicturing, right, or expression. And the primal Latin sound field goes into D13, D14, D15 in our next Veka system. But it's all interfaced into the nodes at the node point at the top of the cathargrids. Okay. One Veka system fits into an Akasha, and we are currently at the lower God world. That fits into one Akasha. And remember, I was talking about, I think I might need to sneeze. Oh, don't sneeze. Okay, sorry. That smaller cathargrids fitting into larger cathargrid structures. So that's when we were talking about where the cosmic clock anatomy comes, or program comes into play more, is how these different cathargrids interlock into each other and create a bigger cosmic clock structure of how renewal of life flows, as well as the consciousness of life flows, and the reality of consciousness is created, is how these interface and the different points and locks that interface with them. And then a whole Akasha, now we're heading up into the higher God world. And we now have 4 Akashas in an Akasha Ea. They pretty much multiply within themselves by 4 domains. All within them have the Eka, or have the Veka Eka system within each of those Akashas in Akasha Ea. So we have billions, many worlds within just one Akasha, and then add lots to Akasha Eas. many. If Lewis can remember what that is, great. If not, we'll probably come at it another day. Not that it really matters, but at some point the numbers we'll get into. And then, of course, we have 4 Akasha A's in the Akasha Ea, which is also known as the cosmic God seed of creation for our light body time matrice that we fit into. there's this whole system, this cosmic God seed fits into an even bigger system, and that it fits into an even bigger system by these multiples of 4 like this, fitting into larger cathartic structures. This is just one of billions upon billions of these structures. Did you, before I do the summation, is there anything you wanted to add, Louis?
I'm just really kind of fascinated by it, because if you look at our Vector system, as you kind of said, we've got the 12 Cathara centers, but then if you look, it does like a 90 degrees turn on the left-hand side for that Cathara, which connects into the primal light and sound. And if you just look at the diagram of the cosmic clock again, it says on step 2 that on the second projection out, it does a 90 degree. So on step 2, then if you go into the Akasha side again, it's just really fascinating how the entire Rushe diagram that
Yeah,
really
if you
just
look at the Eka Veka portion and you move it up to you could barely see it here. I apologize for that. I didn't realize it was going to be so bad. But our image of the God seed that we looked at earlier, and then underneath that, the cosmic clock diagram in between, you can see the
I don't know if this helps.
it's here. It's right here, Liz. It's on this diagram. The little diagram in between, you can imagine that Eka Veka system fitting right into it. And there's just there's portal ways of energy that flow through those Cathara grid structures. I mean, huge amounts of flow of conscious energy and life force that flows through each of these Cathara grid structures that then run into other Cathara grid structures and other Cathara grid structures. And it's just a huge powerhouse of energy, life force, knowledge, awareness, divinity. I'm sorry, did you want to add more, Louis?
I'm just fascinated by it. Just kind of looking at this image of the Stairway to God worlds and just understanding all the other knowledge that we have, because you have the God seed, and then you go down to the Unipsi matrix, and from the Unipsi you go down into the free primal sound. It's just wild. So the cosmic God seed is the same. It's the same God seed that comes out of the Unipsi that's hosted within the Unipsi matrix.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm just Cosmic Ocean. I'm just going to do the summation, and then I'll come back and look at your question. The freedom. Okay, I'm sorry, Louis. Were you going to say more?
Oh no.
Okay. In summary, the freedom teachings work was to realign and recalibrate this anatomy of what we're looking at here on the screen, amongst other bits back to its organic order. The tube torus and flowers of life mechanics keep the atoms distorted, which is why seers look at it and say it is natural. Because when inner vision, when seers look, they see the flower of life technology and think, "Oh, this is so cool." It's like, no, it's not, but it is where the Keylons have been coded to be. And we'll talk in future classes more about that particular bit of technology. Our atoms have not been aligning correctly. The Manu window, again, has been closed to the perpetually renewing inflow and outflow of life force, frequency, consciousness, preventing it from fully flowing throughout our system into the God world. As we become aware again of the organic crystal spiral mechanics and work to clear the Fibonacci second creation finite mechanics programs, through our life force experiences, there is a natural backflow return to source to experience what we have lived. Ascension is part of this backflow return at a higher level. it, capital I, capital T, happens with every breath we take, right? Every thought, feeling, and will action expressed of our being circulates back into our eternal neuronal network of being to be fully lived and embraced. Your eternal clan family desires to be fully expressed within you. As we clear the blocks, and we're clearing them every day, every moment, to open this closed Manu window, aka monad, aka CDAD, with creation, we are again aligning and waking up to who we are. And again, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, nobody even knew about the monad here. People are starting in their inner vision seeing it. It's not just people learning it from KS, but people are starting to see. They call it the second heart. It's sometimes referenced it too, but it's not really the second heart, but it's the monad. Monad. In the next episode, we will be discussing the guardian clans of ourselves living in these different time matrices. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I guess I'm... Okay. The inner earth. Well, Lewis, do you want to answer where is the inner earth?
The inner earth.
I guess I'm assuming maybe she's asking it in terms of this structure. Okay. You see the Earth planet here in the diagram. It's in the center of the planet, right? If I'm wrong, Lewis, correct me. It's in the center. But what's interesting about how planetary structures work with their cathodic structures, inner Earth is actually like half a
density up, so it'd be 3.5.
Half a density higher or up. So, and every cathodic grid has 12 points and has within it 12 subharmonics, right?
Yep.
So within, let's see, maybe I had a...
I don't know why I'm thinking this, but does the inner Earth exist within the sun? I don't know why.
Interesting. So you could say within the core, within the monad, within the center, this probably correlates to where inner Earth relates, because I know it's more than just going underground. You actually you have to shift a little bit in density to actually be able to go into inner Earth. And it's its own world. Inner Earth has its own sun and expression within the core of the Earth. And it's kind of funny interesting also, because when you're going to ascend or transition, you go into the center of the Earth. You go into that inner Earth before you're able to portal out through the portal networks of the planetary structure to hit whatever originally Stargate system you would move out of. Okay, you want to add to that, Lewis?
No, it was just like a little question that I had, because if you go back to the last slide, because I remember in Aisha talking about intangible structures of the soul, she talks about all these different god seeds. I think she talks about there's 23 god seeds or something. So, and if we look at it, but the reason we use the Melchizedek god seed is because that was the god seed that was most intact. But with her just suggesting that there's 23 other god seeds, wouldn't that also suggest that there's 23 other matrices kind of existing in various different places and time?
Probably.
But where would they exist?
So you got to be really careful. Which world are you going into when you travel these portals? You need to really know where you're going. You really need to know the anatomy.
Well, would all these god seeds? Where would these god seeds exist? Because if there's multiple god seeds existing, where would they all connect?
Remember, the god seed is the monad, really, another way of saying the monad in the center. And then the whole structure that's created around it, right?
Yeah.
And we're just doing a really simplified rendition, right? Obviously, there's multiples of all this structure, all interfacing with each other at different node points, right?
Yeah.
And then you're not even talking about probability timelines that go along with that. It gets really complex. So it's really complex. Not for this class. So let's probably get to kind of. And again, do we have another question here? So so when we're okay, hold on. Let me.
So so when we're transitioning, is the light we're seeing actually the inner Earth?
Okay. Right. Okay, so when we are transitioning, is the light we are seeing actually the inner Earth? Actually, from what I understand, you don't necessarily always want to go towards the light because it can also be the false light. Then we have kind of a net harness around the Earth that kind of keeps people trapped within and not able to transition all the way out. So actually, you want to connect with, you want to develop your relationship with your guardian self. And so when you do transition, you'll ask to connect with them and then they can lead you out. It's probably really helpful.
Maybe just to expand on what Katie was kind of saying. So the structure that she was talking about, it's like a holographic reality field. And how Aisha really describes it is, so like how we live our 3D life here, when we transition, the hologram that we see when we transition would be exactly the life that we're living, and we'll continue to live the same life over and over and over and over until eventually we run our quantum out and we go back to space dust. But the good news is, though, I think she said in KDDL 3 that all those kind of false light structures have actually been dismantled, so you can actually go out pretty peacefully and go
That's
wherever you
cool.
need to go.
I would still make that personal connection. And even Steiner talked about that. He's like, you really want to work on making that, knowing who you are and what you're about before you transition out, because you're going to get lost. You really want to make that connection as you're transitioning out. So that you know because you could maybe be okay, but keep go here. But if you get the right being to connect with, you go farther. She also added the Inner Earth Stargate 3.5. 3.5. You want to probably say 3.5 dimension, not density, because density 3.5 density would actually be
In a Gaia.
your oversoul level.
It's
a density plane. All harmonic universes are densities, and they encompass 3 dimensions within their structure and a reality. So Earth is density 1, harmonic universe 1, density 2, Terra, harmonic universe 2, and then Gaia, and they're all D1, D2, D3s, molecular structure, emotional elemental, and mental holographic reality with each of these density domains. But the Inner Earth Stargate 3.5 dimension for Inner Earth, yeah, but you could probably do it at 1.5. There's probably a level of it 1.5, a level of it at 2.5, and a level of it at 3.5. Probably different spots to connect into Inner Earth. probably have slightly different, but probably 2.5 might even be more accurate. But it could be 3.5
because
too.
parallel will be at 4. So, and because parallel inner Earth is 1, so it'd be 3.5. But then
Okay,
you've also
so
got,
3.5. Yeah.
but then you could also acknowledge that we also have an inner Terra, which will be at 5.5. Then you got inner Gaia, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
7.5, and then
Yeah. Um, oh, no problem. It's a thing that a lot. The reason I was being a little bit of an assertive about the difference between dimension and density is that's something that people that say they're in the know in the
New Age.
New Agey spiritual movement say density when they really should be saying dimension. And it's kind of a really big distortion. So I just want to make sure I clear up that particular distortion. And again, we're looking forward to any more questions. I'm just going to start talking about some other things, but we're keeping an eye on the chat if we get more questions. So I just wanted to say Harmonizing Journeys for Realignment private sessions utilizes Keylonta and Tantra Uhura mechanics. Both sciences are the original organic first creation mechanics. The mechanics work with the organic light body and plasma spirit body structure to bring you back to your organic first creation mechanics of the eternal domain of the all that is. This technology realigns the artificial finite second creation Fibonacci tube towards net Earth program with its natural perpetually renewing organic ascension new Earth expression. And connect as a version of what we call the pod space of the Mashayahana Salon. We start out working in the Ureta crystal caverns, clearing whatever is been getting in the way. When I was saying, when you go to make your transition, you want to make sure you make that link up. You can work on that whatever way works for you. You can get into your plasma spirit body, aka pod space, aka Mashayahana Salon, to more easily make that connection with what we call kind of almost like the next pod space up of your eternal clan family connection. We also work with something called the Rainbow Pillar Bridge, and also known as the Crystal Bridgeway, 7 bridges flows, integral bridge, kind of a bypass system to kind of work past through what was once a natural stellar activation cycle no longer is functioning. It's running reverse now. So you want to actually bypass the current cycle. So this is definitely a session you can work on that, developing more of a personal relationship with your eternal being and working through any blocks to that connection. And then there's different levels of things beyond that you can work on. And it usually takes about, the introductory session takes about 2 hours in the beginning. And the HJR Grid Keepers Community Membership Program for those who are either new to HJR or advanced HJR clients. This community offers a small, private, safe, and supportive environment where you can study and apply the Keylonta and Tantra Uhura mechanics of manifestation to create your own personal planetary morphogenic field template. We meet twice a month for group journeys and once a month for group discussion. This is a $250 value for only $10 a month or $112 a year. Also included is a 30% discount on a 2-hour private HJR session. And you can either take that 2 hours in one time or do 2 1-hour sessions, whichever works best for you. And for people completely new to this, never had anything to do with any of this chaos or anything like that, it probably is helpful to do a private session just to make sure everything's working, lining up, and you're working through any difficulties. And I've also made it to where newbies that come in have certain set of journeys they go through, and you can take the time that you need to go through it to really build your confidence, really develop your relationship with your eternal connections, your clan family. And as well as the monthly discussions are also in this section on the website. And then when you're ready, you can join the core group, advanced group, when you're ready. Some people I'm getting may never join the core group. They may just watch the recordings because they may just time-wise not be able to join the lives, and that's awesome. There's no problem with that. And then, when you're ready, or have schedule changes, you can join the core group, and that's cool. And but yes, you're always welcome right from the get-go to tune in with us, connect with us on the monthly discussion at any time. And they'll usually, when new people come in, they'll come in through that monthly discussion, and there'll be a little orientation to kind of introduce and answer any questions and kind of work with you in that session. So easy peasy, really easy, really positive. Is there anything you wanted to add, Lewis?
I was really just going to say, HJR is pretty much the next level up for anyone that is wanting to really connect with their inner being, with their eternal authentic self. We really just want to have you because we have such a wonderful family, of such a wonderful group kind of forming, and it'd just be wonderful to have you guys. And maybe just, God, what else were you going to say? Were you going to do some like introduction sessions that if we can get enough people, maybe 3 or 4 new people joining, then you'd actually do like a private session with them on their own? Is that something else?
Wait, say that again, Lewis. I don't know that I was getting what you were talking about. I was thinking initially of, yeah, if there was like, 3 or 4 or more new people coming in at the same time, I would be happy to do a special introductory journey session for them. But they're still going to go through the introductory material, but they would also have a special. But I don't know that that's ever going to really happen. But if it does, that's awesome. If not, whenever it is that somebody's ready to join the main group, we'll do a special introductory new session to introduce them in and ease them in and help them connect into the shield and with the core group. Is probably what we're ending up doing. But yes, I could definitely, if we get a whole bunch of people at one time, we could definitely do a special journey with them for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have Waking in Elenia book series. While this story appears to be a typical science fiction tale, it is actually a piece of Earth's ancient hidden history. Much of the past I had remembered through my affiliation with the freedom teachings of Keylontic science. The rest was through the characters' lives in the story shared through me. Kara, Eshwa, Ganado, Prince Kaldor, Queen Asana, and even General Damien all have a place in my heart. I was glad I could get their story down on paper. These books were a long time in the making and still are. I'm working on my 3rd book. It's actually finally starting to move. I started them in 2006 while I was living in New Mexico. A friend, Black Unicorn, felt that I should be a storyteller of Keylontic science, the study of light, sound, the base codes of matter, and multidimensionality and the creation mechanics. Quite a mouthful, is it not? Well, needless to say, it has been challenging for most people to grasp the technical information involved. And when I'm doing the YouTube class, I am really taking my time, bit by bit to help people connect. I hope this book gives one the heart and meaning of Keylontic science, which is how to live by the law of one, or the oneness that I refer to so intensely in these books. In fact, it's a prime example of how all species can live a whole and complete life. Did you want to add anything to that, Lewis?
Just for anyone that's either intimidated or doesn't really understand the Voyager's material, it's just a really good stepping stone, these books, to really understand the basic concepts of what she talks about in the Voyager's books. So definitely read these over first, get a basic vibe, get some of the frequency encryption from it, and go back to Voyagers, and you'll see a whole new world opening up.
Thank you. Okay, our schedule. So, this coming Monday, the 26th at 8 p.m. EST, aligning with the, I said here it's aligning with the crystal spiral for February, but I'd say it's the energy forecast for February. That's another way of saying it. And I'm really having fun putting this particular class together. It's going to be very intense and very powerful. And yeah, it's going to be really good and fun. So I hope you guys can join in. And then starting in February, I'm going to get a bit more normal. And not normal is not the word I'm looking for. I can't remember the word that I'm looking for. But anyway, I'll be going by, we'll be doing it Tuesdays instead of hit and miss on different days. Just made a commitment. I'm just going to do it on Tuesdays. So Master of Keylonta episode 4 on Tuesday the 3rd, 8 p.m. All the times are always going to be at 8 p.m. And we'll be looking at the Family Tree of Consciousness, pages 12 through 14 of the Postures of Love. And then our next Introduction to Keylonta class will be Tuesday the 10th at 8 p.m. We'll be looking at the World of the Council Domains, pages 76 through 81 of the Elements of Discovery. And then the next HJR Insights Terror Show will be Tuesday the 24th at 8 p.m. EST, aligning with the energy forecast for March. So, and thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Everybody that tuned in tonight and those that will be tuning in the future. Please like this video. Please share to anyone you think would be interested in this content so that it expands out and we get, a number of people coming in, asking questions, participating, holding frequency. Of course, please just subscribe to get more content and hit that notification button because I'm not that well known as yet. So, and YouTube has gotten a little funky as well. I don't do tons of content on YouTube. So hitting that notification button is really important. So make sure that when I do post these lives, you'll get a notification for it so you can prepare. I'm not monetized by YouTube, so donations are greatly appreciated. The donation link is in the description box below. And I think that is it.
Oh, one last thing.
Yes, sir.
YouTube has added a new mechanic. So similar to liking and subscribing to videos, you can now pretty much hype a video. And the whole idea with hyping is, so every time that your video gets a hype, you'll keep getting points. And if you get enough points, your video
Wait. Slow down. What do you mean by hype? Say again. What is it you do to get your stuff?
So like how we have the notification button, the like button, the subscribe button, and things.
Yeah.
We've got a new button, and it's called just the hype button. It's like the hype button.
Hype button?
Yeah.
I have not seen that button yet. Hype button. I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm not seeing it now either. I see the like or don't like. I see if I want to share it. I see the save. I see the clip, report, but I don't see a hype button.
I wonder why you're not getting it.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Anybody else see a hype button? If you see a hype button, please click it for my videos, please. Besides the like button, and of course sharing, and of course subscribing and hitting the notification button. Very, very huge. Yeah, no, Lewis says he sees it. I don't see it either.
At least I've been seeing it on other videos. I need to check for Katie's though. But it's supposed to be for.
I wonder if you have to have a certain number of people subscribed. Maybe you get a hype button put on there too. Because, yeah. No hype button for Katie. Our Harmonizing journey doesn't have a hype button yet. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Nora.
We'll get her a hype button.
Yeah. We'll get the hype button one of these days. Okay. All right. Oh my God, it's 11 after. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and hope that you guys can make it Monday at 8 p.m. EST. So whatever time, yeah, it's 9 p.m. right now, my time. So you all can look where you're at. So an hour earlier, whatever that would be for you in your time vector. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say, Lewis, or add before we conclude?
Just thank you for being here. Thank you for having me on, and we'll see everyone next time.
Okay. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you.